Okay, so get this. We are diving into AI, but like not the spaceship and robots kind of AI. We're talking about the AI that's like already here,
Yeah.
like sneaking into our shopping carts and telling us what to buy for dinner.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Like, we used to think of AI as this far-off thing, but now it's practically picking out our groceries.
I know, right? And it doesn't stop there. We're going to be looking into all sorts of ways AI is becoming part of our everyday lives. Everything from smarter online shopping to, believe it or not, an AI that can taste.
It's wild. But let's start with something I think a lot of people can relate to: online shopping. Amazon just launched these AI shopping guides. They're supposed to, like, end those endless nights of scrolling through reviews and comparing like a million different products.
Oh, tell me about it. I swear I spent like 3 hours trying to pick out a new TV the other day.
Right. So these guys, they basically use AI to do all that work for you. They sift through mountains of data like customer reviews, product specs, even expert opinions, and then give you like the Spark Notes version of what you actually need to know.
Okay, so it's like having a personal shopper, but, without the judgmental stares and the pressure to buy something super expensive.
Exactly. And the tech behind it is fascinating. They're using something called LLMs, large language models. Basically, these things are like AI super brains that can process tons of information and then like summarize it all in a way that makes sense to us regular humans.
So it's not just giving me a random list of the top 10 whatever. It's actually like understanding what I'm looking for and then giving me recommendations based on that.
Pretty much. And it goes beyond just like people who bought this also bought that. We're talking about AI that can actually understand the features and benefits of different products, just like a human expert would.
Okay, so now I'm really curious. What's an example of how this whole AI shopping guide thing actually works, like in the real world?
So say you're looking for a new coffee maker. Instead of spending hours reading reviews, you can just check out the AI shopping guide for coffee makers. It might tell you, hey, most people care about how quickly the coffee brews and how easy the machine is to clean. Right.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Those are definitely things I'd want to know.
Right. So then it would point you to machines that excel in those areas
Yeah.
based on real customer feedback and expert reviews. It's like cutting through all the noise and getting straight to what matters most.
That's actually pretty awesome. Like, I could get behind that. It's AI, but like actually helpful AI.
Totally. And it makes you think, if AI can do this with coffee makers, what else can it do? And that's something we'll be exploring more as this deep dive continues.
I am so down for that. But for now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about how AI is enhancing our work lives. Zoom just had their big Zoomtopia event, and let me tell you, AI was the star of the show.
Oh, absolutely. Zoom made it clear that they're not just about video calls anymore. They want to be the like central hub for your entire workday. And AI is how they plan to do it.
Totally. They announced all sorts of new AI-powered features, but the one that really caught my eye was this thing called Zoom AI Companion 2.0.
Right. It's like having a like superpowered assistant who sits in on all your meetings and takes notes for you. So imagine you're in a meeting, and instead of frantically trying to jot down notes, you can just relax and let AI Companion capture everything important,
Wait, so after the meeting, I can just like ask it what I missed and it'll tell me?
basically. It can provide summaries, highlight key takeaways, even create action items based on what was discussed. No more having to listen to that hour-long recording
Oh
again.
my God, I need that in my life like yesterday. But hold on, how does it know what's important? Like, what if I zone out for a minute and miss something crucial?
Well, that's the cool part. Zoom AI Companion 2.0 is designed to, like, understand the context of the meeting. It can, for example, recognize when key decisions are being made or when someone is assigned a task, and it'll make sure to flag those moments for you.
That's amazing. But what about all the other stuff I have to juggle at work, like emails, scheduling, all that? Can this AI companion help with that too?
Totally. One of the most exciting things about it is that it's integrated with all your other work apps. So let's say you have a meeting coming up, but you're running late because of traffic. AI Companion can actually detect that conflict on your calendar and proactively message the other attendees to let them know you're running behind.
Okay, that's just next level helpful. I need that feature like right now. But seriously, this is what gets me excited about AI when it actually makes my life easier and more productive, not just more complicated.
Right. And it gets even more interesting because Zoom is also introducing customizable AI. Imagine businesses being able to create like personalized avatars that can interact with employees or customers.
It's like having a mini me running around in the digital world taking care of tasks. But on a serious note, it does make you wonder, how is all this AI personalization going to impact us? What do you think?
It's a great question. And it's something we should definitely be thinking about as this technology continues to evolve. On one hand, having AI that's tailored to our individual needs and preferences can be incredibly helpful, like we were just talking about with Zoom AI Companion. But, there's always the flip side to consider.
Yeah, like, are we going to become too reliant on these personalized experiences? What happens if the AI is, like, filtering out information it thinks we don't want to see? Could it create, like, echo chambers where we're only exposed to one perspective?
Exactly. And that's a conversation we need to be having as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. It's all about finding the right balance, right?
Right.
We want to benefit from these incredible advances without losing sight of the bigger picture and the potential impact on society as a whole.
Absolutely. It's like anything else, there are
Mm.
always two sides to the coin. But speaking of pushing boundaries, this next topic is a real mind bender. Get ready for this. Researchers have created an AI that can taste.
Yes, and it's as wild as it sounds. Researchers at Penn State have developed what they're calling an electronic tongue. And it's not just a catchy name. This thing actually uses sensors that are designed to, mimic the way our own taste buds work.
Okay, so break this down for me. How does an electronic tongue even work?
Well, you know how our taste buds detect different chemical compounds in food and then send signals to our brains? Well, this electronic tongue kind of does the same thing. It uses sensors to pick up on those chemical signals in liquids, and then that information is fed into an AI system.
So it's like the AI is getting a crash course in all those complex flavors and aromas.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting, that data isn't just being analyzed by some simple algorithm. It's actually being processed by a sophisticated neural network, basically an AI brain, that has been trained to understand and interpret those taste signals, kind of like our own brains do.
So it's not just identifying basic tastes like sweet, sour, salty. It can actually pick up on all those like subtle nuances that make each flavor unique.
Precisely. And remember how we talked about the role our brains play in taste perception? How it's not just about what's happening on our tongues. Well, this electronic tongue tries to replicate that complexity. It goes beyond just identifying simple tastes and can actually detect subtle variations between liquids that might seem really similar to us. Like, imagine being able to tell the difference between a perfectly brewed cup of coffee and one that's been sitting out all day.
So you're saying this AI could tell if my coffee's gone cold? That's kind of creepy, but also impressive.
Think even more nuanced than that.
Right.
This technology could potentially be used to analyze milk and determine its fat content, identify different types of soda, even tell if your orange juice is starting to go bad.
Wow, that's both impressive and, like, a little creepy. But what I found most fascinating about this research was that the AI was actually more accurate at judging taste when it was allowed to define its own parameters for what constitutes, like, good taste.
I know, right? It makes you wonder if AI might actually be capable of perceiving the world in ways that we can't even imagine.
It really does. You know, it's really making me think, if AI can be this good at taste, what about our other senses? Could it hear music with more depth than a composer? Or even, like, create art that speaks to us on an emotional level we didn't know existed?
It's a pretty profound thought. I tend to think of AI as all like logic and algorithms. But what if it's capable of tapping into something more? Something like intuition or creativity? This electronic tongue experiment, suggests that might actually be possible.
It's wild. And if AI can achieve that level of, like, sensory experience, what does that mean for us? If it can potentially, like, outtaste, outthink, even outcreate us, where does that leave humanity?
That's the big question, isn't it? But maybe instead of viewing it as like AI versus humans, we should think about it as an opportunity. What if, instead of replacing us, this new wave of AI actually helps us, understand ourselves better? Could it, unlock new levels of creativity and open our minds to experiences we never thought possible?
So it's like AI could be a mirror, reflecting back to us not just who we are, but who we have the potential to become.
Exactly. And that's a future worth exploring.
It definitely is. To wrap things up, let's leave you with this final thought. If AI can taste better than us, what other human experiences might it, like, revolutionize? And are we ready for it?
Something to ponder for sure.
And on that note, this deep dive has come to an end. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.